fans, but we know you from stuff like SNL and all of your movies and your relationship with Jon Stewart and Will Ferrell, and it's like you're an icon as an entertainer, Modern Family. I mean, it's like your resume is ridiculous. But then I found out you're a Marine. You did three tours of duty, right? Unless I'm getting it wrong. It was
deployments, yeah.
3 deployments.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, right, 3 deployments. So you joined the Marine Corps, and your first deployment was in Liberia?
Yeah,
in
Liberia,
a civil war.
Yeah, there was a civil war going on in Liberia, and the violence has kind of come out of the countryside into Monrovia, where the U.S. Embassy was.
Right.
And it was bad enough that we had to evacuate the embassy. So they put together this special purpose Marine Air Ground Task Force, and we launched out of North Carolina to go evacuate the embassy. And we have deals with our allies. So Japan, Belgium, go down the list of allies that do not have a Navy and Marine Corps that can come get them. So we had to get them out as well. So it was all of our designated third country nationals, i.e. Belgians, Japanese, whoever else was our ally. We got them out, plus we got out our embassy. It's a NEO, non-combatant evacuation operation. And so that's what we did. We secured the embassy because the fighting was going on right out in front of the embassy on a couple of occasions, and every now and then they'd shoot at the embassy, and we weren't taking sides at the time. We were just trying to protect our territory and our people. So that was in the summer of 96.
But you have said that there was so much going on, your head was literally on a swivel, constantly scanning for when someone was going to blow your head off, I would assume?
Well, yes and no. You just never knew when, you'd hear the rat-a-tat-tat of machine guns outside, because the embassy, there was a thing called UN Drive. It went kind of like in a horseshoe, and the embassy sat right here, and then there was a cliff behind it. So it dropped right off into the ocean. And so there wasn't really anywhere to go. So we kind of had to make sure that people didn't come, that they didn't turn the violence towards us. But it was so bad in Monrovia that you really couldn't venture out into the city. And so what we would do is we'd take people in. They were flooding into our embassy. We would take them, put them on helicopters, fly them out to our ship. The ship would sail north to Sierra Leone. We'd fly them off the ship to an international airport there. Then they could get flights to the rest of the world from there. Then the ship would turn around, come back. We'd load up another, and we just kept doing this for a month or two until finally everybody was out. And then we left the embassy secure because the violence had pushed back out of Monrovia and gone back out into the countryside. So the threat wasn't as immediate anymore. But that was pretty much June, July, August. Maybe it was May, June, July, August. It was pretty much the whole summer of 96.
Then Iraq.
Then it was Kosovo. Then I went to Albania for Joint Task Force Shining Hope, which was, so when the Serbs drove into Kosovo, they drove all the ethnic Albanians out of their homes and farms, and they just drove them.
This is the Clinton administration, wasn't it? Like, I kind of remember it was a shit show, but I was, 17 breaking into raves, and so I kind of remember. Yeah. And you were over there.
But they drove them all down, all these ethnic Albanians, to the border. And when they fled their homes, they took everything they had on their tractors and wagons, right? So when they got to the border, they didn't want to cross over into Albania or Macedonia or anywhere the Kosovo bordered, because they couldn't take their stuff with them. So everything they owned was on these tractors and these trailers. But it was turning into a humanitarian crisis. You had hundreds of thousands of people on the border. There's no bathrooms, no sanitation, there's no showers, no food. It was becoming a humanitarian crisis. So we went over and built all these refugee camps, right? That had plumbing, had showers, had medical facilities, had all these things. And we were like, come on, it's safe. And nobody would come.
Why?
As the temps start to rise, I get that familiar urge to refresh my closet. But I am done wasting money on trendy pieces that I wear once, which is why I'm obsessed with Quince. The clothes are timeless, elevated, built to last, no insane markup. I'm talking about 100% European linen shorts and dresses that start at just $30. Italian leather platform sandals, luxe swimwear that looks straight off a runway but costs half of what you'd expect. Quince partners directly with top-tier factories, cutting out the middleman so you get designer quality at a price that actually makes sense. And they only work with ethical, responsible manufacturers who care about people and the planet. Personally, I stocked up on the linen tees and the tanks, and believe it or not, a killer summer dress. Occasionally, I do wear dresses. And honestly, it finally feels like my wardrobe matches my standards. Upgrade your wardrobe at quince.com. Luxury should never mean compromise. Team, give your summer closet an upgrade with Quince. Go to quince.com/Jillian for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Jillian to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Jillian. Choose Function because it's the only health platform that gives you access to the kind of data most people never see and the insights to take effective action. Inside Function, you can test over 160 biomarkers, from heart and hormones to toxins and inflammation, even stress. You can also access multi-region MRI and CT scans, and they're all tracked in one secure place over time. It's a near 360 view to see what's happening in your body, and that's why top health leaders like Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Andrew Huberman, Dr. Jeremy London, they're all behind Function Health. This is why I love Function Health. And you know what else? Lab visits are fast and convenient at 2,000 plus locations across the U.S. Just $499 a year, that's $1.37 per day for cutting-edge health insights. What sets Function apart? All the results are tracked over time in one secure place, so you see how your health evolves. Insights come from top doctors based on your unique results. These could cost over $10,000 if you did it on your own, and there are no perverse incentives. Function doesn't push supplements or pharmaceuticals. It's just powerful, unbiased health data designed to help you own your health. Learn more and join using my link, and the first 1,000 people get a $100 credit towards their membership. Visit www.functionhealth.com/Jillian or use the gift code Jillian at sign up to own your health.
Because they didn't want to leave everything they owned on the border. So we finally struck a deal with them. We kind of went up and we said, look, the men, this sucks for the men, but the men can stay with their stuff, with all their family's heirlooms and all their wealth, and everything they have is basically in these tractors. You can stay, but the women and children, let them come down, and we promise their safety, and they'll be given food, they'll have sanitation, they'll have showers, they'll have medical. And so they agreed to that. So then our camps got flooded with women and children, but the men stayed on the border with all their stuff. But the Serbs were driving them down, and they were very aggressive. They were not.
It was an ethnic cleansing, right?
Pretty much,
right.
Yeah. And so they were driving them out of Kosovo. Well, so we started bombing them to stop this, and it worked. Mm-hmm. The Serbs did not like that, so a ceasefire was called, and the deal was you get out of Kosovo. So they pulled back, but when they pulled back, the world doesn't like a vacuum of power. They don't, someone's got to
say that. It was
somebody's got to be in charge. If nobody's around, someone's going to step and go, well, I guess I'm the sheriff now.
And it's usually a
bad
guy.
Operator or someone. Yeah. So you had a lot of things going on. You had Serb farmers, not Serb soldiers, but Serb farmers that lived in Kosovo that were happy that the Serbs were there, but then when they left, they got scared because then the KLA, the Kosovo Liberation Army, who had been hiding in the hills, came out of the hills for retribution on the Serb farmers. So when we came up, there was a British section of France, a Russian, and an American section of Kosovo, and we all had sectors of responsibility, and all we were trying to do is keep everybody apart. Mm-hmm. We were police. But of course, somebody gets drunk, comes out shooting, somebody snipes at somebody else, they all had guns still, they all had weapons. So we were trying to de-arm them. It was very chaotic and very stressful because you never know who was who. You never knew why someone was shooting at someone. We'd roll into town in these, mechanized patrols, and the Serbs would come out with espressos, and they'd be like, here, Drake, stay as long as you want, because as soon as we left, the KLA would come out and start shooting at them or try to burn down their house or whatever. So, and they wanted us to stay awake on these patrols. And then the KLA thought we were their allies because we drove the Serbs out. So they're like, brother, let's go kill some Serbs. We're like, no, that's not what we're here for. We're here for your weapons. And they go, you want what? And then they didn't trust us or like us, and so it's a mess. It's a mess when people get fractured like that. And they're still holding on to some battle that took place in 1387. The beef goes back that long between some of the ethnic Albanians and the Serbs or whatever. So it was like, I can't help you if you're still mad about 1387.
It's the same that seems to go on in the Middle East, though, with this deeply historical stuff that nobody can even seem to unwind. Yeah. I was over in Jerusalem on holiday, mind you. I was coming off of a USO tour, actually, nice. And I happened to be over there. And I was like, you know what? I always wanted to see Jerusalem. This should be cool. And I went into Palestine, ironically. And I remember asking, we had this guide, and I was like, aren't you guys related? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, we really don't. I don't know. It's so old. I don't know. And I think, so old. You don't know why you. Okay, you don't know. And the interesting thing about that USO tour that I wanted to tell you, because I heard you make a joke that if you wanted easy in the military, go to join the Air Force. Yeah. They only let us go to an Air Force base. And I was in the UAE. We were not allowed to go to Afghanistan. We weren't allowed to go to Iraq. And I have heard you say that you were pissed because nobody from the USO ever came over to these dangerous areas where you were until
not at
you
the time
did.
Anytime I was deployed, I never got a USO show. That's why when I went back on many USO tours.
And you did.
Just to, because I always said, if I ever get into a place, I was like, if I ever thinking way in the future, like maybe it'll work out for me. I was like, if I ever get in a place, I'm going to come back and do tours. So I did.
What do you think happens to the comedian, the actual funny guy, when nothing's funny?
Well, I think the comedians make it funny. They find some way, even if it's gallows humor. They find a way to make it funny.
How?
Well, I mean,
and is it comforting?
No, I mean,
or is it a defense mechanism?
It's a defense mechanism. It's a way to shake off. If you sat around and thought about the misery and the pain. Mm-hmm. And the sadness and the humanity of it, you'd be miserable. You'd be miserable. You'd be useless. You would work yourself into a hole so fast that some part of you has to block it out, has to ignore it, and has to try to find a way to continue smiling, continue laughing. And it's not at the incident. It's not, look at this bombed out building, all the dead bodies. Ha ha ha. It's not that. It's joking with each other. It's making fun of each other. It's staying connected with each other and having a laugh amongst ourselves. It's not laughing at the pain and misery of the situation necessarily. Mm-hmm. It's finding a way to maintain, because to me that's humanity. Is the laughter and the
Woody Allen comedy is tragedy plus time.
I think so. Yeah, I mean. 9/11, probably one of the worst things that's ever happened in my lifetime.
I know. You went and cleaned up the mess, which I wanted, but don't jump there yet. Talk about it. Don't go, because I'll go down a rabbit hole. I still have more here. I'm not done with you here.
Okay. But that was one of the worst things that ever happened in my lifetime that I actually witnessed and saw and everything. So, you wouldn't think, but Louis C.K. comes out with some hilarious jokes about it, a couple years later, and you're like, oh my God, that's so funny. Should I be laughing? No, of course not. But it's funny.
As a stand-up comedian, I think that's what you guys bring to our culture, is the ability to laugh about it, right? And I remember growing up, at least we're of the same generation, right? Like, you would make jokes about race and you'd make fun of yourself, and it kind of diffused everything. Mm-hmm. And
took the sting out of it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And now that's all become so taboo, I've never seen a climate so racially charged in my personal lifetime.
Yeah.
Active skin repair utilizes a molecule called hypochlorous acid. Now, when you apply it to the skin, the molecule works by mimicking the natural immune response to cleanse, soothe irritation, reduce inflammation, and support healing. Active skin repair can be used to treat a wide range of skin issues, including cuts, scrapes, burns, sunburns, diaper rashes, and other types of skin damage. And it's also safe and non-toxic, making it suitable for use on all skin types, all parts of the body, and you can even use it on rosacea, eczema, and acne-prone skin. With over 500,000 happy customers, thousands of 5-star reviews, and ingredients so safe and clean they can be used by the youngest member of the family to the oldest, you now have one simple solution for all of your family's skin health needs. So visit ActiveSkinRepair.com to learn more about Active Skin Repair and to get 20% off your order. Use the code Jillian. Again, that's ActiveSkinRepair.com and the code is Jillian.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And make sure to let me know what guests you want to see on in the future.